Hi guys, X Rainbow here. I have a different headset, so my microphone might sound slightly different. Today I wanted to talk to you about making gold while leveling. Um, a lot of people think it's very difficult. I know a lot of people struggle to afford, for example, epic flying when they hit 80 or even level 60 flying, but honestly it's actually not as hard as you might think to make gold while leveling. Um, There are a few things that you should bear in mind though. One thing is that you should never buy anything from the auction house while you're leveling. Although it might be tempting to buy a green or a blue, uh, um, you can probably get better from a dungeon or a quest and you'll probably replace it within a few levels, and it's really not worth spending a few hundred gold on a minimal amount of stats. However, you do want to take advantage of this for people who do actually make the mistake of buying greens and blues to level up with, which is why you should always keep bind on equip items, uh, for the reason I just mentioned, people buying it when they're leveling, and also for transmog. What I'm going to quickly do with you now is have a look at the inventory that I've gained while leveling. Now, I am only level 71 and I've leveled via recruit a friend through dungeons, so I haven't got as much loot as the average level 71 would. I've made about 500 gold so far from vendoring soulbound items, because I'm not an enchanter so I can't disenchant them, so I just vendor all soulbound items, um, and quest rewards in the dungeons. Obviously sent my gold from my main, so that gold isn't a real number of what I've made. If you look up here, this is what I've actually made. Yeah, and down here as well. So I've only made about 500 gold from leveling, which, is still a start. For level 71 you would usually have much more than that from questing, because I've done next to no quests at all. So here's my inventory from dungeons, and although you might be tempted to sort of vendor all this stuff, it may look worthless to you. I promise you it's not. So if I go to the auction house here and just have a quick look, so as you can see, that helmet sells for 1.5k up to 2k really, which is pretty good. I mean, some of these items might not be in the auction house, in which case I'd just charge about 100 gold for them each, unless you recognize them as a transmog item, in which case you have to do a bit more research if you want to make sure you get the most money out of your greens, but if you just want to get rid of them, then 100 gold is fine. I've done a bit of math to see how much gold I've made leveling through dungeons from 1 to 71 with Recruit a Friend, and in total value I've got 3.2k worth of blues, 75 gold of recipes, 23 gold of miscellaneous items, and 108 gold of cloth. So I'm sort of close-ish to 3.5k, which isn't bad. I mean, if you were leveling with normal methods, you probably get 3 times this amount or more, and if you go all the way up to 90, you'd probably have, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times this amount. So legitimately you could probably make about 15 to 20k from all the stuff that you loot if you collect it all, plus on top of that all your quest reward gold, which I have no idea how much that is honestly worth. So you should be around the 30k mark, hopefully. I could be exaggerating with that. I'm not 100% sure, so don't assume that you're going to make 30k through leveling. I will be doing a level 1 to 90 level, or leveling an alt from 1 to 90 with no heirlooms, no recruit friend, just to purely see how much gold I can make, how to maximize that gold, which I'll be linking in this video at another point when I've done it. One thing I'd like to quickly bring up while we're on the topic of leveling is professions. Now, as most people might assume, gathering professions are the best while you're leveling because, there's always a demand for herbs, leathers, and ores. However, that's not completely the case. I would actually recommend people getting mining and jewel crafting as professions while leveling. You may think that's weird, but I'll put a link to my simple gem market below, and you could find that with mining and jewel crafting you could make 3 to 4 times the amount of gold you would make with skinning or herbalism, because low level gems are so in demand and nobody's selling them. It's a serious moneymaker. In my video I made 20,000 gold in one day from selling gems that are from expansions before Mr. Pandaria. So yeah, people are buying them to level jewel crafting, and it is great money. Um, However, I would not recommend getting any other crafting professions except jewel crafting if you do decide to go for mining and jewel crafting. To be on the safe side, yeah, you can stick with skinning, herbalism, or mining, which is probably a safer bet if you are in a low population realm. But if you're in a high population realm or medium, or nobody in your realm sells gems like moss agate, huge emeralds, adamantite powder, all that sort of jewel crafting stuff, then I would really recommend mining and jewel crafting. So one thing I recommend doing when you first arrive at a capital city at around level 10 to 15 is you probably have a few gold from your first quests, or a few silver even, which is enough to get started. What I recommend doing is investing in a few cheap items, mainly profession items that players who are leveling professions are too lazy to go and buy for themselves. For example, copper rod here, even some enchanting vellums. Also, I think starwood is used in enchanting. Let me just double check that. Simple wood, sorry. Simple wood, 10 simple wood. Okay, so this is just enchanting, but you can also do it with skinning, for a skinning knife, or a mining pickaxe. You can buy whatever you want really. Just for now I'm just going to buy these three and see if they're already on the auction house or not. Hopefully they aren't. You can sell the main items for up to 50 gold each, like the copper rods, the mining pick, the skinning knife. I would sell the others for maybe 5 to 10 gold each. And there's already some on there for 100 gold, so I'll just stick that underneath for 48 hours. Okay, these aren't worth as much, but I have sold them previously. It's still an increase, I think. Yeah, you buy them for a few copper each, and if you sell them for almost a gold each, that's still profit. That's a bit ridiculous. I'm not going to sell them for that much. I'll go for 10 gold. So yeah, you can pretty much get a huge return on your initial gold from quests at a really cheap price, and these do sell because people need them to level professions, and trust me, there's a lot of lazy people out there. One final thing I recommend to do while leveling is to upgrade your bags. When you first start, all you have is this backpack, which is 16 slots, I think it is, and that's really not enough. I mean, as you quest, you will get some smaller bags, but really and truly you want to upgrade as soon as you can. On most servers, netherweave bags are fairly cheap. If you have a main, they'll be cheaper to buy. Obviously, if you're on your first character, you may not be able to afford them. 30 gold each. If you can't afford that, then there is another thing you can do, which is as soon as you arrive into your capital city, hopefully it's Orgrimmar or Stormwind, you can buy a tabard for reputation from, I am not sure where they are in Stormwind as I haven't played Alliance, but on the Horde side, if you go to the islands in the top here, where next to basically where the flight master is, there's a reputation vendor, and you can pick either whatever one you want. I recommend going for the Orgrimmar one. If you wear this tabard, you will be gaining a lot of experience until you have enough. You'll be gaining a lot of reputation until you get to Revered with Orgrimmar, in which case you can buy 16 slot bags, which are the same as netherweave slot bags, for a fraction of the price, not even 2 gold. So if you are broke, I would recommend doing that. In fact, it's cheaper for anyone to do that unless you desperately want netherweave bags at level 1, in which case you won't be here yet. And you can't mail tabards to other characters, unfortunately, so you can either buy bags for your level 1 and mail them to your level 1, or you can wait till you get to level 15 and get this tabard, get reputation, and then get bigger bags, which you may not be able to get till level, I don't know, 30 or something. If you don't want to buy bags, or if you feel like you're lacking space, a great idea is to mail stuff to an alt temporarily until you finish leveling, and then when you're done you can just sell everything on your alt, because you may not have as much bag room as me, and it can really pile up. Usually at this level my bags would be overflowing, and I'd have to have mailed stuff to an alt. So bags and space are always a huge requirement if you want to collect everything you possibly can to sell. Just some general hints and tips. Never feel the need to vendor cloth. I know because it's white quality you may think it's worthless, but in fact on some realms frostweave cloth can sell for 80 gold a stack of 20. Linen cloth can still go for 20 gold a stack on some realms. Wool cloth is usually quite expensive, I don't know why. I think it's a pain to farm, I guess. So overall you can make up to 1,000 gold from cloth while leveling from 1 to 90, or if not more. It is worth a lot more than you'd think, and perhaps 1,000 gold isn't a lot to you, in which case sure, feel free to vendor it, but for someone who's new to the game, that's a lot of money. Another thing I'd like to recommend is when you're questing, sometimes quests don't offer rewards that benefit you. However, some quest rewards are worth more than others. I think they changed that in later expansions. I can't remember, something happened that they changed it to make everything vendor for the same price. But I noticed yesterday when I was questing in Wrath that items still have different values as quest rewards, like weapons are always worth more and plate is always worth more than cloth, for example. So make sure if you can't benefit from any of the upgrades of gear offered from quest rewards, then make sure you pick the one with the highest vendor price, which you can see on the tooltip. So just as a final summary of what we've learned today, try not to vendor anything except for grade quality items because they are generally useless, or soul-bound items or gear that you no longer need to wear, unless you're an enchanter, which you shouldn't really be, but if you are, then feel free to disenchant them and sell those materials. Everything that you vendor is worth something, whether it be 1 gold or 2,000 gold. You can make so much gold from purely collecting everything. Make sure you loot everything, in fact, because if you're lucky you can come across a world drop, which is an item that only drops like a 0.01% chance, and it can sell for 20,000 gold. So if you think something's worthless, don't vendor it. You don't know how much it's worth unless you really, really know the economy. And also remember, upgrade your bags as soon as you possibly can. If you can't, then just mail everything to a level 1 alt. So I'll do my best to get that 1 to 90 leveling, gold made during leveling video out soon. But for now, I hope this video helped you, and my next video will be about making gold with professions. So I hope to see you then. And just a quick thank you to everyone who checked out my stream. I'm now at 50 followers, which to me means a lot, so I really appreciate it, and thank you for supporting me, guys.